Hello, my name is Father Ambrose, and today I'm going to read for you a selection of 3 poems from John Donne's Divine Poems. Now, I chose these 3 poems because they come from a series of 7 interconnected poems, where the last line of each poem becomes the first line of the next, and the last line of the 7th poem becomes the first line of the first. Now, what's also interesting about these poems is that they take on the themes that we might associate with the Rosary. And I think that this connection to the Rosary might be intentional by John Donne. Now, though he was later an Anglican cleric, he was raised Catholic, so he almost certainly would have been familiar with prayers like the Rosary. But now it is odd that there are 7 poems rather than 5, say. But I think that this might have been intentional on his part as well, because there is devotion among the Franciscans where they pray the 7 joys of Mary. And this devotion is called the Franciscan Crown. Now, it's also notable that the first poem in this series is called La Corona, or the Crown. And it also seems to have a fitting relationship to the pandemic in which we're in the middle of. Now, while the mysteries that are reflected on in these 7 poems don't line up exactly with the 7 joys of Mary, they are reflective of it. And so that I think it's worthwhile to hear them and to see what John Donne's meditation on them was. And so the 3 poems I'm going to read for you today are the first one, La Corona, and the second one, the Annunciation, so you can see how the poems are interconnected. And then I'll finish with a reading of the Resurrection. Enjoy. La Corona. Deign at my hands this crown of prayer and praise, weaved in my lone devout melancholy. Thou which of good hast, yea, art treasury, all changing, unchanged, ancient of days. But do not with a vile crown of frail bays reward my Muse's white sincerity. But what thy thorny crown gained, that give me, a crown of glory which doth flower always. The ends crown our works, but thou crownest our ends, for at our ends begins our endless rest. The first last end now zealously possessed, with a strong sober thirst my soul attends. 'Tis time that heart and voice be lifted high, salvation to all that will is nigh. Annunciation. Salvation to all that will is nigh, that all which always is all everywhere, which cannot sin and yet all sins must bear, which cannot die yet cannot choose but die. Lo, faithful Virgin yields himself to lie in prison in thy womb. And though he there can take no sin, nor thou give, yet he'll wear, taken from thence, flesh, which death's force may try. Ere by the spheres time was created, thou wast in his mind, who is thy Son and Brother. Whom thou conceivest, conceived. Yea, thou art now thy Maker's Maker, and thy Father's Mother. Thou hast light in dark, and shuttest in little room immensity, cloistered in thy dear womb. Resurrection. Moist with one drop of thy blood, my dry soul shall, though she now be in extreme degree too stony hard and yet too fleshly, be freed by that drop from being starved, hard or foul, and life by this death abled shall control death, whom thy death slew. Nor shall to me fear of first or last death bring misery, if in thy life book my name thou enroll. Flesh in that long sleep is not putrefied, but made that there of which and for which it was, nor can by other means be glorified. May then sin, sleep, and death soon from me pass, that waked from both I again risen may salute the last and everlasting day.